And as I said, we're going to have our mats this morning, and we're going to, you're going to want to have a chair nearby. So let's make our way over to our mats, and we can begin choice. So either way, we're going to just, in remembering someone who is no longer with us, like anytime we have to consider dying, I think it's an opportunity to appreciate this life, this gift of life that we have. So, and life is breath, right? Our friend Chris lost her ability to breathe, and then she passed from this world. But every breath she took was this gift of having her with us. And so we can breathe this morning and just really appreciate being here. So we have our bodies, this gift of being alive and feeling what it's like to be in a body. And we can appreciate our ability to breathe. So I invite you into a time of deep appreciation for this moment of being alive and this opportunity to be able to breathe. Breathe in fully and deeply and feel the breath expanding. How fortunate we are to have these lungs that can take in breath and expand and send that oxygen throughout our whole bodies. And then we can let the breath empty all the way out so that we give that soothing quality, that relaxing quality to our nervous system. So let's just sit and breathe in appreciation for this body and this breath and this moment. Deep breaths in and full emptying of breath out. This day is such a gift, and this opportunity to be here is a magnificent opportunity. And I think because we value ourselves and we value our bodies, we come onto our mats. We devote this time to care for ourselves. And that's a gift we're offering ourselves. So I appreciate you guys making time for this, to care for yourself today. Let's just take another breath or two here. Focusing our awareness on how we're feeling. Maybe taking a moment to consider, how you want to practice in light of how you're feeling this morning. Whether you want to be very gentle, whether you want to pay attention to an injury or something you're nurturing, or, whether you want to be full speed, energetic ahead. Just take a moment to acknowledge how you're doing. And then when you're ready, if you're lying down, you can stay there. If you're sitting up, we're going to make our way to lying down. And I thought we'd begin this morning, well, let's just start by hugging our knees in and kind of swaying the knees side to side. We're just going to loosen up a little bit. And then swaying your knees to center, lift your legs up in the air and just kind of alternate flexing and pointing. Just kind of loosen up your feet, your ankles. So my friend Chris, our friend Chris White, who passed away, she had rheumatoid arthritis. So her mobility wasn't super awesome. So I think she would have appreciated a movement practice in her honor. She had a great sense of humor. And so to honor that, our first series of movements that we're going to do this morning is dead bug, because I thought Chris would find that funny. So we're going to take our arms up to the ceiling and we're going to have our hands facing. And then let's just reach the arms up. So round your shoulders forward as you reach up. And then pull your upper arm bones back down into your shoulder sockets and kind of broaden across your collarbones. And do that again. So this is a dead bug. This is shoulder reset. We're going to reach the arms up and then we're going to pull the upper arm bones in and down. And so the back of the shoulder finds the floor. And then do that one more time. Reach up and then release the back of the shoulders down. So you have that feeling of connection of your back of your shoulders on the floor. You're creating a little more space across the upper chest. And then we're going to bend the elbows, so fingertips pointing back, and we'll take our feet off the floor, bring our knees over our hips, and then we're just going to start lifting arms and legs up and then bending elbows and knees. So breathing in as we go up and exhaling to bend. And we're going to do that a few more times, just moving with the breath. Inhaling up and exhaling to bend. Now let's take arms and legs. We're going to do opposite arm and leg. So one arm and the opposite leg go up and then bend. And then other arm and the other leg go up and then bend. So just kind of getting the two sides of the brain working to move the two sides of the body. Contralateral movement here. Let's do that one more time on each side. And then we're going to take both arms and legs up toward the ceiling. And let's draw an imaginary line down the center of the body and try to keep that line steady as one leg goes out to the side and the opposite arm goes out to the side. Can you do that movement without shifting that line, that midline? Don't let it turn to the side. And then bring that arm and leg up. And then do that on the other side. One leg goes out, other arm, and there's no movement in the hips. That line is steady from your chin to your pubic bone. There's no rocking or rolling or turning. We can inhale as the arm and leg go out and exhale as the arm and leg come up. And just continue this movement, starting to wake up the core by having to stabilize, by maintaining that midline stability. Let's do that a few more times. One arm and the opposite leg, and the other arm and the opposite leg. Great. And then we'll go to the next layer of dead bug. We'll take one arm overhead as the other leg, you can either tap a toe to the floor or extend that leg out and then bring that arm and leg back up. And then other side, arm goes overhead as the leg extends and then arm and leg come back up. If you prefer, you could just tap a toe and then bring the leg up, or you can do that with a straight leg. Yeah, so moving with the breath. As that arm goes overhead and as the arm comes back up, try to keep the back of your shoulder solidly on the floor. Try not to let it lift up as the arm comes up. We'll do a few more of these extended variations of dead bug. And then the next time the arms and legs come up, we're going to take both arms overhead, reach back with your thumbs, and you could just have your arms alongside your ears, or if your back of your hands find the floor, that's another option. Let's press out through the heels as we breathe in. And then as we exhale, we're going to slowly begin to lower the legs away. And you decide how far you want to go. When your back starts to arch up off the floor more than a little bit, we're going to draw the knees in and inhale the legs up. And then exhale, press out through the heels to lower the legs away from you. And then we're going to draw the knees in and inhale up and exhale again, lowering the legs away. Draw the knees in, inhale up, maybe one or two more like this. Just getting that low belly to fire to support the movement of the legs. The next time your legs extend away from you, as you bring your knees in, let's reach our arms up and grab onto the knees, hug them in, release the back, take a breath. And then we'll lower our feet to the floor. Let's go ahead and roll to the side, and we're going to come all the way around onto all fours. And of course, you can cushion your knees if you like here. Get nice and square. Extend your spine and take a breath. As you exhale, just drop your tail and round through your back, drop your head, and then come to flat back. As we breathe in, let's arch and extend all through the spine, looking forward. And just do that a few more times. Exhale to round. And inhale to arch and extend. And one more time like that. And just any variation of this that you like. You can move a little side to side. You can move a little front to back if you like. Just whatever feels good to just kind of warm up your spine. And then we'll come to flat back. Let's go ahead and curl our toes under and make our way up to downward facing dog. Grounding through the hands, letting the head just dangle here. The hips go up and back. Let's bend a knee and press a heel to the floor. And then bend that knee and press the other heel to the floor. And just alternate. Loosening up the lower leg here. Breathing in and out. And then we'll bend both our knees a bit. Draw the hips up and back. Take a deep breath in and out. And then we'll walk our hands back towards our feet, lowering our heels down. End up folded over bent knees, upper arms and head just kind of dangling here. Feel your feet nice and planted here. Take a breath into your upper back. Allow the breath to empty out. Then let's draw the belly in and begin to roll ourselves up. Taking a little time to unfurl here, stacking the vertebrae, one on top of the other. Eventually rolling the head up. Feeling our feet planted now, let's reach the arms out and inhale arms up. And then we'll exhale arms down at our sides. Great. All right, we can turn and face towards our device. Let's just get our feet right beneath us. And we're just going to start to warm up the ankles with some heel raises here. And so I'm dedicating this morning's practice to my friend Chris White, who we lost to this world last night. And one of Chris's many gifts that she offered us was, Chris knew she was going to die for a long time, and she really embraced her end of life. And she always said she would come back as a sunflower. She loved sunflowers. And so any of us who ever see sunflowers, we think of her. We think of her when we see sunflowers. And there is a yoga movement called Sunflower. So we're going to do that next. So we're going to separate our feet and turn our toes out. And we're going to start with what's called 5-pointed star. So it's just a nice big open, arms reaching out, toes turned out. We'll take a big breath in here. And then you're going to start to bend your knees. This is kind of like sumo. Knees forward and hips back. And we're going to hinge forward, and then we're going to sweep the floor. And then we're going to sweep out, and then we're going to come back up. Inhale and reach up. Exhale, kind of squat down, knees wide, sweep the floor. Keep the spine long here, so we're not bending at the waist. We're hinging from the hips, we're getting nice and low, and then sweeping the floor. And then reaching out and up. So sunflowers. Inhale and reach out and up. Exhale, scoop down, sweep. Let's just do 2 more of these. And sweep. All right, this will be our last one. And then let your arms come down. So the variation that we normally do that's similar to this is sumo pose. So it's kind of the same foot position. And we take the hips back, knees forward. We keep the spine long. And then we come back up. And sumo pose, you know, it works the muscles in the feet and the ankles and the legs, obviously. But one of the reasons we practice sumo pose is we tone the pelvic floor. And so one way to do that is when you're here in this squat position, lift the heels a teeny bit. And then with your heels slightly lifted, you can kind of think about drawing your heels in, kind of the energy of the heels drawing in. And then with your heels slightly lifted, the energy of the heels pulling in, we can straighten the legs. And then we can lower the heels and do that again. Knees wide, hips back, lift the heels a teeny bit, feel the energy pulling in, and then straighten up. And so practicing sumo pose made me think of Chris White, because Chris White, so we're going to just keep doing this. Lift your heels a little bit, pull in and straighten. Chris White was a nurse, and she came to me one day. When I worked at the church, we offered she was a member of my church community, and we offered a human sexuality curriculum for our youth. And she came to me one day and said she wanted to teach the class. She thought she'd be good at it, and she was really great at it. And just to give you an insight into Chris White, when the kids that she taught, either in middle school or high school, about human sexuality, when they would graduate from high school, she would send them a graduation card, and into the card, she would place some condoms. And she would say, I know you know how to use these, and use them well. So that's the kind of woman she was. So sumo pose, Chris, the sumo pose, we're toning our pelvic floor in your honor. Okay, so let's make our way to the front of our mats. So a woman who celebrated sunflowers, we could probably remember in our sun salutations. So we're going to do sun salutations this morning, and I'm going to do them in honor of Chris. And we're going to do a number of them. And as always, you know, modify and go at your own pace and take a break anytime you need to. So let's begin rooted down, standing nice and tall, just like a sunflower sends its roots down and then grows up and turns towards the sun. Maybe we can think of ourselves as sunflowers this morning, rooting down and letting our flower look towards the sun. I'm facing the sun. I don't know if you are where you are, but imagine the sun is in front of you. And then as we inhale, we'll reach up. As we exhale, we'll swan dive forward. Let's take a breath into the upper back here. And then as we exhale, we'll extend our heart forward. We could press hands onto shins or fingertips on the ground. And then we'll inhale and fold over again. And then bringing hands to the floor, let's step back to downward facing dog. We'll take our hips up and back as we breathe in. And we'll exhale and lower to straight arm plank. Feel the strength, again, that appreciation that we have this ability to be in these strong bodies of ours, to hold ourselves up here. Let's take a breath. And then we'll try a little bend in the elbows. Feel free to lower your knees here. Take another breath. And then let's make our way all the way down onto belly, into our prone mountain position. Find length here. And then let's inhale up to baby cobra, pulling the heart forward here. And then we'll lower back down as we breathe out. So we're going to inhale to baby cobra again. Let's lift our hands a little off the floor. Let's lift our elbows up and hug them in towards the midline. waking up the upper back here. And then we'll drop the hands down and lower the chest. This time keeping our hands down. Let's inhale all the way up, either baby cobra or coming up a bit higher into cobra. And then lowering back down. Let's push up to knees, curl the toes under and lift the knees, and then pull the hips up and back to down dog. We'll breathe in and out here. And then let's look forward and walk our feet up towards our hands. We'll plant our feet beneath us. And then let's sweep our arms out and inhale and rise up, reach up. And exhale, arms down. We'll do that again. Inhale, reach out and up. Exhale and swan dive forward. Now from here, we're gonna step back into a lunge. And let's drop onto the back knee, unfurl the back foot. We're gonna inhale and reach up. Again, you can think about your heart lifting towards the sun. And then we're gonna exhale, hands back down. We can curl the back toe under. We're gonna step back to downward facing dog. Let's breathe in and out here. And then with empty lungs, we're gonna try 8-pointed pose. So we're gonna drop to knees. We're gonna lower and bring the chest and the chin to the floor. And then we're gonna slide forward and then inhale up to cobra. And exhale back down. Let's make our way up and back to downward facing dog. Breathing in and out. And then we're going to try and step the right foot forward. You can drop to the knee and step it forward if you like, or just step it forward and then drop to the knee. We're going to inhale and reach up. And then exhale, hands back down. Curl the back toes under and step forward into a fold. And then reverse swan dive and inhale and reach up. And exhale, arms down. Let's do that again. Inhale, reach out and up. Exhale and swan dive forward. This time, big step back with the left foot into lunge. And then drop onto that knee, unfurl the foot. Inhale and rise up, reach up. Exhale, hands back down. We're going to make our way back to downward facing dog. Let's breathe in and out here. And then with empty lungs, we're going to drop to knees, chest, chin. And then scoop forward and inhale up to cobra. Exhale back down and make our way up and back to downward facing dog. We'll breathe in and out here. And then you could drop to knee and step the left foot forward, or step the left foot forward and drop to knee. Inhale and reach out and up. Exhale, hands come back down. Let's curl the toes under and then step up to forward fold. And then reverse swan dive. Inhale, reach out and up. Exhale, arms come down. We'll do that series again. This is classic sun salutation. Inhale, arms reach out and up. Exhale and swan dive forward. Big step back with the right foot now. Drop to the knee. Inhale, reach out and up. Exhale, come back, hands to the floor. Step back to downward facing dog. Take a breath in and out here. With empty lungs, come to knees, chest, chin. Then slide forward and up to cobra. Exhale, back down. Inhale, up and back to down dog. Looking forward, you can drop to the knee and step the right foot forward, or step the forward and drop to the knee. Inhale and reach up. Exhale, hands back down. Curl the back toes under and step forward to fold. Sweep the arms out, inhale and rise. Exhale, arms down. Last time through, inhale, reach out and up. Exhale, swan dive. Take a big step back with your left foot. Drop onto the knee. Inhale, reach out and up. Exhale, hands back down. Curl the foot under and step back to downward facing dog. Take a breath. Exhale, lower to knees, chest, chin. Slide forward and through and up to cobra, breathing in. Exhale, back down. And make your way up and back to downward facing dog. All right, we're gonna stop here and take a little detour. So let's take a breath and then lower to straight arm plank. We'll take another breath here and then we'll lower all the way down onto belly. Let's come onto forearms. Let's do some work to strengthen the core. So get your elbows right beneath your shoulders, measure fingertip to elbow, elbow to fingertip. And then we're just gonna slice down to lift the chest. Let's curl the toes under and we're gonna lift the hips. We'll come onto the knees and we could be here in kneeling forearm plank, pushing the floor away, or we could lift one knee at a time and put one knee down, or we could just hold a full forearm plank. And this is a challenging pose. And life presents a lot of challenges. And I'm honoring Chris White in this practice this morning. Her life presented so many challenges, but she embraced life's challenges and seemed to be able to turn, hard things into good things. I was sharing with Shirley this morning, she got pregnant in high school and she had her baby and she raised her baby, even though it was a time where that was really frowned upon. And that baby was the person who nurtured her in her final years. So, doing things that are hard are often really worthwhile. So this pose is hard. Let's hold for a couple more breaths. Great, and then we'll drop to knees. We'll release the hips. Bring your chest to the floor. You can let your head rest on your arms. Just let everything relax here as you breathe in and out. Then let's press the front of the hips down and lift the legs up, reaching back through your toes. And we're gonna do a little flutter kick here. And when you flutter, you might just flutter from the knees, but see if you can flutter from the hip, the whole leg fluttering here. And for me, this brings back, the first time I met Chris White was in a water exercise class. So I'll always remember her coming to the class and befriending everyone in the class very quickly, becoming sort of the life of the class. So this flutter kick brings her to mind to me. So let's flutter a little bit longer. And then we'll let the legs relax. Let's bring our arms to our side, palms up. And we're gonna press the hips down and lift the legs up again. Reach back through the fingertips, pull the heart forward, inhale and lift the chest up. Nice, strong locust pose here. Can you press down to lift the legs a bit more? Can you reach back and pull your heart a bit more forward? Can you lift up any more? Let's take one more breath, feeling the strength of the back body. And then we'll lower back down. Great, we'll bring our hands to chest and let's push all the way back to child's pose. Spend a few moments in child's pose here, breathing in and out. And I'm just gonna lift up my friend again. Chris White, not only did she have a child, a daughter who followed her into nursing and nurtured her at the end of her life, but she had this very special relationship with her grandson. And she used to share the stories that they would share in bed at night. And she eventually wrote a book, and I forget what it was called, but it was basically the stories that she shared with her grandson at night. And they're just so full of love and humor and kindness. So this child's pose makes me remember Chris and her special relationship with her grandchild. And then with our next inhale, we'll lift our heads up and reach our arms out. We'll make our way again to downward facing dog. We'll breathe in and out here. Once again, walk our hands back towards our feet, lowering our heels down. And from here, we'll bend the knees and lower the hips. We're going to sweep our arms forward and we're going to sit back into chair. As we're holding chair pose here, I'm going to point out this chair that I have in my yoga room here. You might notice there's a crown of sunflowers on the chair. We had a celebration of life party for Chris before she moved out to Iowa to be with her daughter. And there were 100 people there. And we all shared the things about her that were special, that we cherished. And she sat in this chair. And it was a really incredible life to have that many people honoring you. So let's bring our arms overhead, push down into our feet and legs. Inhale and rise up. And exhale, arms down at our side. Great. All right, let's come into a wide stance. And we'll turn the right foot in, turn the left foot out. And let's go ahead and bend and straighten the front leg. Yeah, so we have this foot turned in and we're bringing the weight into that front foot, pushing it down to straighten, feeling our connection to the ground here, feeling those strong legs supporting us. The next time the knee is bent, we're going to pause here and let's just tip our hips over, bringing that bottom arm on the bottom thigh. Let's take the other arm forward and sweep it overhead. Thumb up, pinky down, that arm kind of rolls down. Let's roll the belly and chest forward. Reach a little longer with that top arm as we breathe in. And then sweep that arm down. Reach back, inhale and rise up to proud warrior. So what a name for a pose, proud warrior. So we're strong, you know, a warrior is strong. And we find like the gift in that. You know, we're proud, we appreciate the strength that we have within us. So, you know, this pose could remind each of us of the strong people in our lives that have given us the example of how to be strong. So let's take one more breath here in this proud warrior pose. And then we can relax the arms, straighten the front leg. We'll go around and do that on the other side, turning the back foot in, turning the front foot out. And again, just kind of really getting in touch with our connection to the ground here. We feel that back foot planted. We feel that weight in that front foot. Yeah, strong legs supporting our upper body here. Let's bend the front knee now. And then we're going to tip the hips over again, forearm on the thigh. That other arm will sweep up and overhead, thumb up, pinky down. Let's roll the belly and chest towards our device and reach long with that top arm. Breathe in, then sweep that arm down, reach back, inhale and rise up. Again, feel the strength, that inner strength, that ability to fight the battles that need to be fought, right? That warrior strength. And just embrace, appreciate that strength that's within us. Let's take one more breath here. And then let the arms relax. We'll straighten that front leg. We'll turn the feet forward. With feet parallel, let's just let the hips go forward. Draw the elbows back, lift the heart, nice big back bend here, taking a breath. And then we'll come upright. We'll hinge forward, a little softness in the knees as you come to flat back. And then just continue to fold over, letting your hands come down. You could hold your shins or your ankles. You could bring your hands to the floor. Your knees can be nice and soft and your head dropping down. Or if you like, you could lift your sitting bones up and draw your head in and down for a deeper stretch into the backs of the legs. Take a big breath in and out here. And then let's bring our hands to hips, push down into the feet and legs. Inhale halfway up. Exhale, release that breath. And then push down and inhale to come all the way up. Great. And then you can heel and toe your feet in or just jump your feet together. So I suggested that you all have a chair nearby. You could also use a couple blocks, or you could go to a couch or something. I just wanted to use my Chris White chair today. So we're going to stand a little bit back from the chair. And we're just going to do some work to strengthen the hips primarily, really, and work on balance a bit here. So you can start on either leg. So you're balancing on one leg. The other leg, you're going to swing it back and hinge forward. And as you come toward a flat back, you could just have your hands to heart here and hinge forward into your balancing warrior, or you can put your hands on your chair. And then we're going to hinge back up. And then we're just going to change legs. So we're going to hinge forward and swing one leg back. And your hands could stay to heart as you do this, or you have the chair right there to hold on to. And then we're going to hinge our way back up. So we're going to keep doing this, changing the leg each time. One leg swings back, upper body hinges forward, coming into your balancing warrior, getting nice and long, heel to crown, and then making your way back up. And then other leg. So really ground through your standing leg, swing the other leg back, hinge forward. Maybe you got that chair to hold on to, and maybe you just do it with your hands to heart, your choice. Let's do it one more time on each leg. So another thing that this chair, that reminds me of that party that we had for Chris White, her celebration of life party. At that party, there was a lot of us playing ukuleles, because Chris White decided to learn how to play the ukulele at a certain point in her life. And of course, she invited everyone else into that. And she started a ukulele club. And our church, we can stop. Our church was called LCUC, and the nickname was La Kooks. So she started a group called La Kooks with Ukes. And she invited people to come and learn how to play the ukulele, because that's just the kind of person that she was. She was so awesome. All right, let's make our way down to the floor. And we're just going to lean back. And we're going to separate our feet a little bit so that our heels are a little wider than our hips. And we're just going to roll the knees to one side. So you turn to the sides of your feet and then bring the knees back up and then roll to the other side. And I just kind of was inspired in this morning's practice to do some things for the hips, because I know Chris had to have both of her hips replaced in her life. She had rheumatoid arthritis since her 20s. And, but mostly it was just her hips, and then it was her lungs that were affected. But I think she would have really appreciated having a little more mobility in her hips. So let's roll the knees to one side and then bring the arm from behind all the way around as both legs make their way down. So both knees are on the floor. And so you got your front leg and your back leg. Your back leg can be here. They can both be any angle, right? You could have a tight ankle or wider ankle. You could also take the back leg further back if you want to do more of a traditional pigeon pose. But either way, we're gonna lower down over the front bent knee, bringing the chest over that front bent knee, coming onto our forearms perhaps, or maybe bringing your head further down. You might, if your head comes close to the floor, put it on the floor or put it on your hands or stack your fists. So we're just bringing our weight over that front thigh and knee so that we're feeling a stretch in that front hip. And then we're just going to breathe in and out of that here. Nice full deep breaths in and out. Feeling that nice stretch into the hip. One more breath. Then lifting our heads up, let's place our hands on either side of that front knee. And we're going to push up. Until we push up, we're using our arms. So we're going to lean in again. And so this is the movement, leaning in and pushing up. And we can use our arms to provide the support. Now try doing it with just one arm on the floor, one hand on the floor, right? So you might decide you want two hands on the floor. You might feel a difference if you just have one hand on the floor. If you were to lift both your hands off the floor, then you have to start to use the strength in your front hip to support this movement. And it might be too much for your hips. So you might want to put your hand on the floor or just a finger on the floor. So kind of lots of options. You could have one finger on the floor. You could just have one hand fingers on the floor. You might have both hands on the floor. We're just working on hip mobility and strength here. Yeah. So now I want you to lean in and put your hands back down. And could you lift your back leg off the floor and put it back down? This isn't for everyone. Some people, this just doesn't feel good in their back hip. So if it doesn't feel good, just take a break or straighten that leg out or continue to do work on the front thigh. But if that feels okay, could you take that leg from behind now and swing it around in front and then swing it around behind? And you might give it a rest. And then we'll do that again. So we're kind of leaning forward, or lifting that back leg up, swinging it around in front, and then swinging it around behind. Great. Okay. We're going to lean back and bring both knees up. Again, the heels are a little wider than the hips, and we're going to let the knees drop over to the other side now. So the hand from behind comes off the floor, and then both legs come down. And you can just kind of adjust your legs so that it feels all right for you. I'm just going to turn a little so you can I can be facing you. So now we're going to orient over this front knee and thigh, and we're going to lower down onto our forearms. And maybe you go a little further. Maybe your head comes closer to the floor. Maybe you can support it in some way. And then let's just breathe into that front hip a few times, in and out. One more deep breath in and out. And then lift your head up, bring your hands to the floor. We're going to push ourselves up. So we're going to do that action, kind of lean in and push back up. We can do it with two hands on the floor. We could lift one hand off the floor. And so there's a little work from the hip, a little work from the arms. We could try it with no hands on the floor. If that's too much, maybe put a finger back down or put a hand back down. And maybe do that a couple more times. If this feels like it's not right for your hips, our hips are all really different, and different things work in some people's hips and not in others. So if it doesn't feel like this is right for you, then just maybe hold off and try something else. Let's lean in and try lifting that back leg. How does that feel? Put it back down. Some people that doesn't feel great, but if that works for you to kind of work that back hip, lift that leg up and then swing it around. And then swing it behind you, hold it up, and then give it a rest. And maybe one more time. Lean forward, lift the back leg up, and swing it around, lean back. So this is kind of an unconventional way to practice pigeon. Chris was very unconventional, so I think she would have appreciated kind of doing this unconventional stuff. Great, let's bring our feet together Drop our knees apart and just take a moment here to breathe in and out in bound angle. Feet pushing in, knees pushing out, sitting bones rooting down, spine rising up. Take a breath. Let the breath go. Let your hips relax. Great. All right, bring your knees in and straighten your legs out. Shake them out a little bit. Let's swing our legs around and we're going to roll onto our backs. And we'll do bridge pose. So let's bring our feet in close to our bum, have our knees hip distance apart, have our arms at our side. We're going to not look at our device now. I want you to look up at the ceiling. And then let's just push down into the feet and start to peel the spine up, lifting the spine up and up and up until we bring the weight up onto our shoulders. So we can feel the energy of the knees and shins pressing forward here as we come up. We'll take a breath at the top. And then let's lower down. Slow, gradual release of the spine into the floor. Rolling ourselves down until your spine is on the floor, your sacrum is on the floor. Take a breath here. We're going to do that again. So looking straight up at the ceiling, push into your feet and legs and peel your spine up off the floor. Bring the weight up onto your shoulders. So your feet are pressing down, your knees and shins are pressing forward. At the same time, could you kind of think about pulling your heels in towards your shoulders to really activate the backs of the legs here. Take a breath at the top. And then lower yourself back down. Roll down, unfurl, slow, gradual release. I like to imagine once my sacrum is down that I have a tail that's rolling out on the floor, a long tail, releasing, relaxing out, resting on the floor. And then let's do that one more time. We're going to push down, peel or roll the spine up. Bring the weight up onto the shoulders, feet press down, knees and shins press forward. And again, how would it feel if you pulled your heels towards your shoulders? Can you feel the back line of the legs really fire? Take a breath and then roll down as you exhale. Unfurl your spine. Once you're all the way down, again, let your tail roll out. Just feel that ease and relaxation all through the very end of your spine. And take a breath. Let it go. Take your feet up off the floor and hug your knees in. So the final pose that we're going to do here is happy baby pose. So holding onto your knees, take your knees apart and then take your feet up so that you get your heels kind of over your bent knees. And you can either grab the inside of the knees and pull them out and down, or you could grab your ankles and pull your heels over your knees, or you could take two fingers and grab your big toes. So that we just want the knees out nice and wide and the weight of the heels kind of weighting down over that. And you could just hang out here like a baby, just finding its feet in its crib. Or you might take one leg out to the side and bring the other heel in. And you could kind of alternate that, one heel coming in and one leg going out. So our friend Chris White, at the end of her life, she kept creating goals of things she was going to live till. She was going to live to her son's 50th birthday. She was going to live to her own certain birthday. And I believe her final wish was to live to see the birth of a dear friend's daughter's baby. And that baby was born just a few days ago. And then Chris left this life. So this happy baby pose is in her honor. So you might just have heels over knees. You might just open both legs out wide and draw the heels out and down. And take one more big breath in and out. And then let's just bring the heels in towards the midline, let go of the feet, release our feet to the floor. We might separate our feet a little wider than our hips and just let the knees drop in towards the midline. Counter movement for the hips. Take a breath in and out. And then go ahead and separate. I said that was our last pose, but let's take a little final lying side twist. So you can draw your knees in, drop your arms out, and let's let the knees drop all the way over to one side, stacking one knee on top of the other, reaching back and opening up and taking another deep breath in and out here. Just let that breath empty. So, we can breathe in joy and we can breathe out sadness. Life is full of both. So take one more breath in and out. And then bring the knees back. We'll let them drop all the way over to the other side. And then reach back with the opposite arm. Maybe look back at that arm. And then just, again, use your breath. Breathe in something that you want to breathe in. And let your exhale be an opportunity to let something go. And then go ahead when you're ready, bring your knees back to center. Release your feet down. We're going to move into our final relaxation now. So take a few moments to set yourself up to be warm and comfortable. Maybe putting on a layer or finding a pillow or a blanket or whatever you would need to make this final time optimal for you. And as we lie back, I thought we'd finish up our practice today with loving kindness meditation, because this special person who we're celebrating today, she just had so many friends. And it's because she treated everyone with love and kindness. She was just so open and caring and able to connect with people. And I think it was just that light that was within her, that love for others that created that connection. So let's do loving kindness meditation. So as you're lying back, we need to love ourselves in order to be able to know how to love others. And so hold yourself in a loving embrace. And say to yourself, may I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be happy. Do it again. Just hold yourself in your loving awareness and say to yourself, may I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be happy. Feel yourself offering that loving kindness to yourself and feel yourself receiving it. And then we'll move on to our next layer of loving kindness, where we bring into our mind's eye someone who we love, someone who we have deep affection for. We choose one person and we hold that person in our mind's eye. And we say to them, may you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be happy. Holding that person you love in your mind's eye again, say to them, may you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be happy. Feel yourself sending them this loving kindness. Try to feel them receiving that. And then we'll move on. Our next layer of loving kindness, we just want to bring to our mind's eye sort of a neutral person, someone we see regularly that we can bring to our mind's eye. We don't even necessarily know their name. We might be a coworker or someone you interact with regularly at the gas station, the grocery store, or the post office. Pick someone and hold them in your mind's eye and say to them, may you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be happy. Holding that neutral person in your awareness, say to them, may you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be happy. Send that loving kindness to that individual. And maybe feel them receiving. And then we'll move on. Our next layer can be more challenging. We bring into our mind's eye someone with whom we have challenges, we have struggle, we have difficulty. It could be someone you know, or it could be a figurehead, but someone that it's hard for you to love. And hold that person in your mind's eye and say to them, may you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be happy. Holding that person that's difficult to love in your mind's eye, say it again. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be happy. Offer, send. Maybe they receive. So we can project our loving kindness out to the whole world. And we can finish up just grounding loving kindness back into our own hearts. Take one more deep breath of loving kindness in. And let that breath go. And you might want to stay lying back and have some real final rest. This final pose, of course, it's called corpse pose. And it's that recognition that death is a part of life. And we all find our ending. And that's okay. That's natural. That's the natural progression and rhythm of life. And that is something that my friend Chris really taught and exemplified. We're all going to leave this world, but we're going to leave hopefully having spread a lot of love and kindness into it. So if you want to stay longer lying back, you might close your device. If you're ready to move on with your day, you can open your eyes, can bring your feet to the floor. Let's roll to our side and just take a little time to transition. And we'll make our way up. And we'll just close out with a little time for some reflection here. And deep gratitude. Peace and namaste. Thank you for letting me share with you today some, little tidbits about a very special human. And thanks for being here. And